Welcome back to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Sudan. For you, first news story is about a statement from an Ethiopian government department. The statement has been issued in response to an article published by the BBC. And this Ethiopian government agency claims that an attempt is being made to create divisions between Ethiopia and Eritrea. What did BBC report because of which this Ethiopian government department is so angry? Secondly, viewers, a Gurage member of parliament has been arrested for the second time. I read a video when he was arrested a few months ago. Then he was released. Now, reportedly, he is back in custody. Why was he arrested? Thirdly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Front, OLF, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. 2 days ago, we saw a statement from Oromo Liberation Front political party led by Daud Ibsa. And then yesterday, Komsa Dereba, popularly known as Jaal Marroo, issued a video message in connection with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of OLF. Thirdly, Sudan, a viewer said, Zajid, you are not updating us about what is happening in Sudan. Trying to keep you updated as much as possible. Heavy clashes resumed in Sudan this morning. We have updates for you, especially from Omdurman, where clashes are ongoing. Secondly, did RSF fighters attack a hospital in Al-Darashab, Bahri? They deny the attack. Yesterday they issued a statement, but a lab technician was killed in the attack. We have details. Firstly, viewers, an Ethiopian agency has issued a statement with some facts and figures. The agency claims that BBC News published an article with false information, that BBC did not contact the agency, rather it spread false information about Eritrean refugees situation in Ethiopia. We know that Ethiopia has deported hundreds of Eritrean refugees. It was confirmed by Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia and UN Refugee Agency too. We saw a statement from RRS, Refugee and Returnee Service of Ethiopia, which confirmed that Eritreans had been deported to Eritrea, but the agency said those who had been returned were not refugees or asylum seekers. Then BBC published an article on the, I think, 8th of June. Before this deportation, I think BBC published an article. BBC claimed that Refugee and Returnee Service of Ethiopia had stopped issuing birth certificates to Eritrean refugees staying in Ethiopia. And it was claimed by the writer of the article that for the last 18 months, this service had been suspended. No new birth certificates had been issued to Eritrean refugees in the last 18 months. That is why Refugee and Returnee Service of Ethiopia issued a statement last night, RRS, which which handles all the affairs related to Eritrean refugees living in Ethiopia. RRS claims that birth certificates are being issued to Eritrean refugees. This service is not suspended. Since November 2022, in the last 7 to 8 months, RRS has issued 2,149 birth certificates to Eritrean refugees. It means that service has been operational in the last 7 to 8 months, and RRS further claims that there is no backlog, no pending cases. All requests have been finalized, all requests, action has been taken on all requests. Birth certificates have been issued, no pendency. RRS further claims that BBC News in the article claimed that it contacted RRS for clarification, for response, but RRS did not respond. RRS says that it was never contacted by any BBC outlet, BBC journalists. And in the end, RRS has leveled some allegation. It says that unfounded, baseless information is being shared. Purpose is to create divisions and discord. Last paragraph is very important, viewers. Here, Ethiopian RRS Refugee and Returnee Agency is clearly saying that BBC is trying to create divisions between Ethiopia and Eritrea by publishing false information. What about other certificates? Are all documents being issued to Eritrean refugees? Eritrean refugees do have some concerns. I think they should be accessible to media. International media should be allowed to interview Eritrean refugees in Addis Ababa. That is how things will be clear. They have some genuine concerns. Yes, sir, we're not saying that RRS is not issuing birth certificates, but what about some other documents too? What about registration of new refugees? Reportedly, in a far region, new refugees are not being registered. So they can only apply for a birth certificate or some other documents after they have been registered as refugees. If they are not registered, they are living illegally. So it means that RRS is not bound to provide any service to them. That is why I think Eritrean refugees' position can only be verified about this issue if they are able, if they are accessible, if international media is able to contact them. It has not happened, by the way. I have not seen Eritrean refugees in the last few weeks appear on international media. They should be allowed to speak, I think. That is how things will be clear. Having said that, BBC should apologize. It was a big claim that for the last 18 months, issuance of birth certificate service had been suspended. Now, RRS has shared details. So, BBC must apologize, and those who publish the information, they should be held accountable. Will BBC apologize? That remains to be seen. Yes, there are some players which want to create divisions between Ethiopia and Eritrea. I have been saying that. Players in Ethiopia, outside Ethiopia too. When there are players who are trying to create divisions, it means Ethiopian and Eritrean government should ensure that people have access to right information. Secondly, viewers, a Gurage member of parliament, member of SNNPR regional council, I think he's a member of regional council of SNNPR, has been arrested for the second time His name is Tarekegn Degife. Tarekegn Degife was arrested a few months ago. Read some videos. And then he was granted bail. Yesterday, again he was arrested by federal police from his house, and now he's in custody reportedly. Why is that for the second time a member of parliament has been arrested? I think members of parliament have immunity too. They cannot be arrested without approval from the house of which they are part of, But second time arrested, no immunity respected. Why was he arrested? Very clear. We know that Gurage council rejected cluster arrangement. Gurages want a self-administration. They want Gurage separate regional state, like Wolaita want separate Wolaita regional state. But Ethiopian government is creating two zones now. It is separating SNNPR. Gurage will remain part of SNNPR, and Wolaita will be part of some Waredas and special zones, which are going to split with SNPR and going to turn into a separate regional state. Both Gurage and Wolaita people, they are rejecting this cluster arrangement. Degife also protested. He, along with other MPs, played a key role when Gurage council rejected this cluster arrangement at a historic vote a few months ago. Referendum was held in Wolaita. I think first referendum was declared null and void. Then second was held a few days ago, and National Election Board of Ethiopia then declared results saying that a majority of voters supported that Wolaita should be part of a new regional state split with SNPR, not a separate regional state. So MPs of Wolaita, Gurage, since they have been raising a voice for separate regional status, that is why security forces arrest them, having no regard for their immunity as members of a parliament. Thirdly, viewers, Komsa Direba Jaal Marroo appeared yesterday. He released a video message in connection with OLF's establishment. 50 years ago, Oromo Liberation Front was established. 2 days ago, Dawood Ibsa's OLF released a statement saying that it was OLF which saved Oromo people from extinction, which saved Oromo culture, and that Oromo's political questions were not being answered politically. OLF mentioned the idea of establishment of a transitional government in Oromia too. Jaal Marroo appeared last night. He commemorated the sacrifices of Oromos who lost their lives in this struggle. He vowed to continue this struggle. He said the struggle will go on until genuine concerns, political questions of Oromo people are answered. This video firstly showed that Komsa Direba is alive, because rumors are spread about his death. Rumors are spread that Ola fighters are on the run, that Ola commanders are on the run. He has released this message while a major operation is underway against Ola. People say it's a major operation, though I have doubts about that. Because we have seen a major operation last year. That was a major operation because that had involvement of regional forces, maybe neighboring countries too, which were consulted by Ethiopian government. This time there is no involvement of any regional force other than Oromia region-based forces. There is no involvement of any other country too in terms of consultation. So I don't think it's as big an operation as one was last year. But Ethiopian state media, Ethiopian state-backed activists, they are trying to show as if a major operation is underway. Is it a major operation or not? Difficult to say. I personally think that this report of major operation is being shared by state media and activists. Why? Because Ethiopian army is launching a major operation in Amhara, where in different parts of the Amhara region, clashes between Fano fighters and Ethiopian military ongoing. And people asking questions, why operation in Amhara while no operation in Oromia against Ola? That is why security forces launched operation against Ola. But in the midst of this operation, we saw that Jaal Marroo is able to send his message to the world about 50th anniversary of the establishment of OLF. It means he is able to stay in touch with people, with international media, with national media whenever he wants to. And his message clearly mentions the occasion on which he is speaking. It's not an old video. He is speaking about the establishment of Oromo Liberation Front 50 years ago. Lastly, viewers, Sudan, where this morning heavy fighting resumed in Omdurman. Omdurman seems to be the new battlefront, though clashes, airstrikes in Bari, Khartoum Central too, but mainly we are now seeing clashes in Omdurman. 2 days ago, a Sudanese general appeared in Omdurman, Yasir al-Atta, one of top generals of Sudan's military. He shared a video from Omdurman. Then this morning, the Sudanese military released a video from Karari locality. Sudanese military was seen in Karari locality with locals. So military says it has retaken this locality in Omdurman. And the ongoing clashes sent this morning are also being reported in Omdurman. So Omdurman is not a new, but it's a major front these days, it seems. Secondly, viewers, yesterday rapid support forces denied attack on a hospital in Al-Daroshab, which is in Bahri, Khartoum North. But resistance committees, two resistance committees have confirmed. Halfay al-Maluk and Bahri resistance committees have confirmed that it was RSF which entered Martyrs Hospital, Al-Shuhada Hospital in Al-Daroshab. And in that attack by RSF fighters on this hospital, one lab technician by the name of Mus'ab was killed. RSF denies. RSF denies its involvement in human rights abuses, in involvement in attacks on hospitals. It is showing itself as a champion of human rights. It is conducting inquiries into human rights abuses while its own fighters are involved in human rights abuses across Sudan. So basically there is no independent investigation ongoing into what is happening in Sudan. That is why both parties accuse each other. Civilians dying, their fighters dying too, and no one will ever know who killed these civilians. No one will ever be held accountable. Thousands have died so far. More than 4,000 died so far. 4,000 confirmed. There could be hundreds of unconfirmed deaths too. Infrastructure destroyed. Ethnic violence ongoing. But RSF says it's as clean as one can be in terms of no human rights abuses. Sudanese army claims the same, though airstrikes being conducted and civilians dying in these airstrikes. So both sides are involved in human rights abuses, but RSF fighters are more involved in human rights abuses, in ethnic violence, in sexual violence reportedly. Thank you for watching.